Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. Today I'm going to do another Brother Scan and Cut tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to cut out these Hershey Nugget wrappers, like things to decorate your Hershey Nuggets with, okay, using the Brother Scan and Cut. Okay, so just lay these down here for a second. See how many different kinds of Hershey Nuggets there are in the variety pack. Okay, they're a little piece of heaven. But these because they're flat bottoms, they actually make great treats to give out. Okay, and I have a lot of tutorials of how to do these treats on my blog, but right now I want to show you how the Brother Scan and Cut makes it easy for you to cut out all the papers. Okay, when you turn on your Brother Scan and Cut, and you have two options, pattern and scan, we're going to be picking the pattern. Okay, and we're going to be using the built-in patterns. There's over 350 on my model of built-in patterns. Okay, so the first pattern was, let me just go back to that. I sometimes go a little fast. You see how there's different categories? These are your categories of patterns. And the first category I'm picking is the shape patterns. And because I want to make a rectangle, I'm going to go ahead and pick the square shape at the top. Now, if I were to just go and resize this right now, it will stay in proportion. In other words, my square is getting bigger. The length and width are getting bigger together. We're going to go and turn off this option. Okay, that means this is the option, which means if I turn that off, it's going to not stay in proportion. That means I can change the width and height without affecting the other. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and, I know that my width of the Hershey Nugget treats is 1 inch because I've been making these for many, many years. Okay, and I'll tell you, it's kind of hard to cut 1 inch with your paper trimmers. So that's why I really like to use the Brother Scan and Cut to cut these little shapes for me. Okay, I could go faster, but there we go. So we have a width of 1 inch. Okay, now the height of these is going to be 3.25 inches. You can actually get away with 3 inches, but I like to have 3.25 inches. The reason is because I like a little overlap and I don't like to get any adhesive on the candy itself, or very little, so I like to have some paper overlap. Okay, so we have 3.25 by 1. I know how many are going to fit on this page, but you might not know for your first time you're doing this. So let me just tell you an experiment you can play. Okay, so let's try saying we want 30 on a page, and the page being a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. And by the way, we're going to be using Myths and Magic for this, which I'll show you in a minute. All right, so we're going to say 30, and I'm going to go ahead and say set. Now that was a little hint for you because it tells you there's not enough space on the mat. You're allowed to have a max of 27 of these little rectangles. Well, awesome, you just answered my question. So you don't have to do these calculations in your head of how many will fit and with a little space between each one. You just go ahead and put in some kind of high number, and then you'll be told that how many actually fit. To 27 fit, I'm going to go ahead and say set. Now, this is awesome. They're set, and they're lined up vertically. Okay, that may or may not be the most efficient way to line them up. I can change the alignment, which will be for another lesson. But right now, we know that they're going to be cutting vertically in rectangles. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because my camera's right in front of my Brother Scan and Cut, and I can't open it right now. I'm going to move this out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Brother Scan and Cut so it doesn't hit my camera. And I just want to show you that I'm going to be using the Myths and Magic Designer Series paper. The reason I chose this particular paper is, if you recall from watching, if you subscribe to my channel already, we already have been cutting out the cutest little dinosaurs and knights, okay, and dragons, not dinosaurs. You're gonna be like, you don't know a dinosaur? Okay, dragons and knights, okay, and castles. We already showed you how to cut these out. Okay, I already showed you how to cut these out. Now, the little trees. So these are gonna make great embellishments for my nugget treats. So that's why I'm using this particular paper. I typically wouldn't use such thick designer series paper. This is specialty designer series paper, because it is, very thick and it's going to be a little bit harder to bend, but that's why you have a bone folder. It helps you curve the paper a little. Now I'm just showing you that I'm turning the stars, okay, you have to keep aware if you're going to be using both sides of this paper, like there's clouds on one side, okay, and there's stars on the other. Now the stars I don't think matter really which direction you cut them in, because I'm kind of looking, it doesn't really matter. But the clouds matter. So if I'm going to use this cloud pattern, which I might, you know, so and I know that my squares are, I mean my rectangles are laid out vertically like that. I'm going to go ahead and put the paper on my mat. Okay, here's my mat. This way. Okay, so that my nugget wrappers cut out with the pattern the way I want them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I've told you in the past the mats are very sticky. This is pretty much a new mat, so it's pretty new. And even so, I take a spatula, like I have a Cricut spatula, and I take a spatula and I rub down the mat, okay? And I'm also going to, I use some painter's tape to hold down the mat when I'm cutting. Because even when you rub it down, you still need a little tape. Okay, I'm moving the camera again. Now, let's just go ahead and load the paper. I'm going to hit load on my machine. Okay, and that was this button right here. Load paper. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, okay, let me use my stylus. Cut. And start. It's going to take 2 minutes. And while it's doing that, I don't just leave it to chance. Okay? I add some more tape because it's going to be cutting a lot. I don't want it to slip. Okay, and I'm also checking my blade depth. It is a 4. All right, so now let's talk about what I'm going to be doing, you know, while this is cutting. There's lots of coordinating colors on your designer series paper. And in this particular case, Dapper Denim, Old Olive, and this is Lemon Lime Twist. My camera's getting knocked around. These were 3 of the coordinating colors. So I'm going to be using, for the toppers, the Dapper Denim, and for the trays, Old Olive or Lemon Lime Twist. So we never want to waste time, you know, while the Brother Scan and Cut's doing its thing. I can actually go ahead and do my thing, which is cutting a tray. Okay, loads of tutorials on my blog. Usually, I go for about, let's say, now depending on how many nuggets you want, your lengthwise is going to be, you know, an inch for each nugget. Okay, so there's a nugget, and so I know I'm gonna have at least, you know, 5 inches because I'm gonna be lining up 5 nuggets, and I line them up, sorry, this way. I'm gonna be lining them up this way. So I know my tray needs to be 5 inches lengthwise. Okay, and I was cutting about 2.25 inches widthwise. Okay, so there you go. So while I was cutting, I mean, I could have cut several of those, but I was, you know, talking through it. I could have cut several while I was showing you this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape. I'm going to go ahead and remove my mat. Now, let me just go ahead and move this camera a little bit closer. It says finish cutting. Okay, and then I want to tell you that this blade depth, because it was designer series paper, I set it on a 4 because that's what I usually use for designer series paper. If I was using the super thick, this glittery designer series paper, I would be going with a 5 or a 6, but this is just regular designer series paper with a tiny bit of, I wouldn't say glitter necessarily, this is more like a sort of a shiny paint. Okay, that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and unload my mat. Now, take off my tape, and a really quick way, I mean, pretty much, Brother Scan and Cut, this stuff just falls off usually, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, like when I remove my mat, you're left with all these nugget wrappers. Pretty awesome. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and bend the mat a little bit, and then they all come right off. See how easy that is? And you just see what I mean? Now, some of these are going to, Since this is a great little cloud pattern, I can use that on one side, and then we have the star pattern for the other side, making it easy to alternate the nuggets. Okay, and I'm rewrapping each one like so. Pretty awesome. I use rolling adhesive. I never use hot glue for working with anything with food. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera. I'm going to be going and doing some more, cutting of a couple more patterns. Like I was thinking of doing this. These little, wizards would be pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm going to cut some more nugget wrappers out. And then I will have like the finished products. Maybe I'll videotape the finished products, but if not, they'll definitely be on my blog, thepaperedchef.com. So please check that out. Thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef here. And we just cut out little nugget wrappers using the Brothers Scan and Cut and the Myths and Magic Designer Series paper. Okay, they came out really cute. And what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and use this pattern again. I'm just going to, cut another whole sheet of these. But I want to show you something important, okay? Because you don't want to have to do this every time if you cut nuggets a lot like I do. You can just go here to where all the rectangles are on the screen, and you can just say save, okay? And you have three options. You can save to your machine itself, okay? You can save to a USB, or you can save, that means like a USB thumb drive, okay? I have one in my bag here. And I usually do save things to it. Oh, and you can also save right, here we go. I have my little skateboard. Okay, there's my little skateboard. I love this, and it kind of matches my Brothers Scan and Cut. Okay, so I actually save things a lot to my USB, thumb drive. And it's just dedicated to my brother. Okay, so, or you can hook a USB to your computer and save it to your computer. Okay, I just recommend saving it to the machine. The machine has lots of memory, especially for shapes that are built into the patterns. So I'm going to just go ahead and say save. You don't have to name it anything. I'm just saving it to my machine. It's already automatically named. Saved in the machine's memory. Okay? M0064. Okay, let me just go ahead and I'm going to say okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead home, delete all patterns. Yep, delete all patterns. Now watch this. I turned on my machine. I've come along another day later. Okay? And instead of doing all what I did again, what I showed you earlier for part 1 of the video, instead, I'm just going to say go to my saved data, go to my machine, and I'm going to go ahead and jump to the last page. Go ahead right there. I'm jumping to page 9 because I didn't want to scroll through 9 pages of things I've saved. But I just jumped. Page 9 of 9 had this file. Remember, it said it was saving as M000064. Okay, so there it is. I say okay, and I say okay. And you could have added to it, meaning if you wanted to add more things to it, there's not much room to add more things to it, but just a little room along the bottom. You could add to this file and then save over itself, like overwrite the file. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that because that's a very important part of this tutorial. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut out, and pull this back, this super cute pattern with the wizards on it. And I'm going to use the same measurements we talked about and the file that I saved. Thank you for watching. Hello, crafty friends. I just had to make another video to go over a few things with you because, my goodness, these little wizards came out so cute. And it was my first time cutting them for the purpose of nuggets, and I thought, I gotta show my crafty friends. I also wanted to show you my final finished products with the nugget treats. So why are we doing all this work with the wrappers? This is why. And I even put the little dragon on a wobble spring, which I absolutely love. Okay, here's a finished product. So I created a tray for 5 nuggets using the little wizards, and then I put the dragon on top. Okay, and here's another one that I did. And I just decided to use a wobble because it makes it really a fun gift to give to someone. And here's one I did with the clouds and the little star paper. Okay, so to review, we cut out 2 pieces of Designer Series paper, and with that, we ended up with little trees, little wizards, clouds, and stars. Okay, it's always good to use small patterns when you're making Hershey Nuggets. Okay, if you have a great little wizard like this, that you can wrap, 2 little wizards actually, okay, then go ahead and wrap this. If the pattern is not very good on that side, then like this, I cut off the heads of the wizards. Then just go ahead and use the tree side. But don't waste it. If you have glitter and wizards, don't waste this side. It's an awesome side. And if you have a good cloud pattern, use it. If not, turn it over and you have stars. Okay, these came out so cute. That's the reason I cut the paper in the direction I did, because I wanted more of the wizards to show. Super, super cute. And I would say, another thing I would say is, for the first paper I did with the stars on it, it was fine to use a blade depth of 4. I used a blade depth of 4 one more time, and this glitter, I had it glitter side up because I didn't want the glitter to stick all over my mat and make it even less sticky. So I really should have went up to 4.5 for that glitter paper. I didn't. 4 cut it, but I'm having a hard time getting them off the mat. Okay, so 4 did cut, but I would say 4.5 or 5 for that. Okay, finished nugget treats, all the measurements and materials I used will be on my blog, because this is from the Thinlits. Okay, that one is there. I mean, I can show you, but I'm going to have to list them all because it would just take too long to go through all the materials. But I have like Magical Mates. These are my Thinlits, Magical Mates. This one here, cut out the You Are One of a Kind stamp just perfectly. Okay, You Are One of a Kind. So that was, just black ink and cutting it out. I could have inked around the edges. Okay, this tray was Old Olive, and this tray was Fresh Lemon Lime Twist. And I always put on the back too, I have stickers that say something like, this contains nuts. Okay? And that's especially when I'm selling these at craft fairs. And I'm just giving them to my friends. I mean, they know, but you never know if they give them to someone else, so you might want to put a little note that these contain nuts. Well, thank you for watching, and please visit my blog, The Paper